Unvaccinated Americans should be put on a no-fly list, like those normally reserved for terrorists. The former Assistant Homeland Security Secretary saying banning unvaccinated Americans from flying is, quote, an obvious step that the federal government should take. But this comes as those vaccine passports are facing scrutiny even from within the Democratic Party. The mayor of Boston, for example, a Democrat, went way overboard with the outrageous suggestion that the idea of vaccine passports is reminiscent, get this, of people having to show their papers in the days of slavery. After an expected explosion of negative reaction, acting Mayor Kim Janey apologized for her dopey remarks. So, Dana, I guess you didn't get the memo that you never compare anything to slavery or the Holocaust unless it's slavery or the Holocaust.
Well, there have been so many walkbacks this week. I feel like we're watching like Michael Jackson do the moonwalk. I mean, this is unbelievable how many times that people are saying something and be like, oh, actually, I don't mean that. And actually, you know, Dr. Francis Collins was another one who said you need to wear masks if you're vaccinated inside your home if your children are around. The next day, I was like, actually, no, you really don't need to say that. There's just so many different things here. This one, I actually think that she said what she believed.
Oh, me too.
And then the blowback was such that she said, actually, maybe I shouldn't have said that, because obviously it is hyperbole and over the top. But there is depth of feeling in urban America by Black Americans that feels that they don't want to get the vaccine. I wish that they would reconsider. I want everybody to be safe. I want us to be able to get through this and not have more variants. But the suggestion, what she just did, is basically ensure that even people will be more resistant, because now then you add in pride. And that's hard to get over.
Well, I think that obviously foolish and ill-advised remarks, Dagan. On the other hand, putting aside the no-fly list, I like the idea that I'm going to be in a crowded airplane with only vaccinated fellow passengers. I don't want to fly elbow to elbow with someone unvaccinated.
Why? You're vaccinated. I don't understand.
What if you get some snot on me and I go home to my grandchildren?
What if somebody has hay fever and is vaccinated? You're still going to have snot on your jacket.
Well, at least it'll be
it's
snot
not
that doesn't
transmitted
kill
by
people.
snot on your jacket.
Right. The irrational left seems to be saying that an unvaccinated person poses a mortal threat to a vaccinated person. This is a cocktail of lunacy with a heap and helping of hysteria. This woman, that you're talking about, let's talk about the terror no-fly list, because she's saying that unvaccinated people are terrorists. The liberals that find fascism in everything are the actual fascists. That's what we're talking about.
I think that you could not be more misguided, and I really like you.
You're vaccinated. Don't worry about the unvaccinated people. You're fine, buddy.
But I am so keen on this idea because we've got to stop. You know, the virus is, metastasizing. It's becoming different. It's changing because of people being unvaccinated, allowing 90+ million hosts. Come on, Jesse. We got to work together.
That's your
here.
argument. Come on. Geraldo, no-fly lists are for terrorists. If you're saying that if you're flying with someone that's not vaccinated, that's like 0% chance you're going to die. But if you fly with a terrorist, it's a little more of a 0% chance.
She
Geraldo.
obviously
Geraldo, during the pandemic, when there was no vaccine,
concentrate on the point.
People were flying.
That's right.
People were crowded into aircraft, and there was no substantiated evidence of virus spreading in aircraft when there was no vaccine and people were flying. So now that 70% of the country is vaccinated, why should we change anything?
That's a good point.
Why should you change anything? Because what if you fly with kids, Greg? I know that you hate kids, but others of us are parents and grandparents.
Kids are doing great. Kids are doing great if you look at the stats. I'm going to quote Tim Dillon, a great philosopher. There are horrible things that this virus can do. The discussion isn't about that. It's about how to fight it without collapsing civilization. And right now, we're fighting the collapse. I want to go back to the whole idea of the...
Oh, that is hyperbole. Collapse of civilization.
When Geraldo accuses you of hyperbole, you have seen it all. So let me just get to my point here. We were talking about, I guess it was the mayor of Boston,
Acting,
right?
Acting.
That wasn't necessarily hyperbole. The passport is unadulterated segregation by default. If you install it in any city, 70% of blacks will need to find another place to eat or drink. And if you don't see problems happening at the hostess stand, or you're crazy. This is going to make the brawls in the airports look like yoga classes. And what of the blacks and Mexicans who work in those establishments? How do you, by the way, how do you enforce this? What if I say I was vaccinated but I don't have my papers? How does that work?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you come back tomorrow?
It's that easy.
Can you go home and get it?
Geraldo, it's that easy when you run a restaurant. This is what you are doing is you are alienating a group of people because you don't have the balls to actually go and talk about the statistics. We spent months vilifying the white redneck down south for being stupid and ignorant because they didn't get their shots. But we dared not reach out to one of the largest segments of the population who definitely need to hear this message. Oh, you are out of line. Oh, yeah. All right, I have some good news. No, I'm actually talking about the stats that you are not aware of.
Changing the subject.
No. This is the subject. She was talking. She was saying,
I want people to be vaccinated.
We get it, Geraldo.
I don't want to be with people who are not vaccinated.
Mother Teresa of the five. We get it, all right? The good news is there's a promising treatment of monoclonal antibodies, and it's not a vaccine. It's a subcutaneous injection.
Subcutaneous.
That'll work.
Yes, they call it the Cuomo jab because it's just a tiny prick.
No.
Subcutaneous.
What does that mean?
I never thought I'd hear that on the
Just right a little bit into the skin.
But what was your point in bringing that up exactly?
Because I'm trying to lighten the idiocy that you bring out of everybody.
Oh.
I will allow you to withdraw that remark.
I refuse to withdraw it.
Oh,
sustained.
You can't handle the truth.
Coming up, CNN maybe can't handle the truth, facing a massive credibility crisis. Wait until you hear how the network wanted Chris Cuomo, my friend, to help his creepy governor brother.
Name dropper. My friend.